Welcome to the Geeks Attic. This is an expanded universe book review of Star Wars Champions of the Force. Star Wars Champions of the Force, Book 3 in the Jedi Academy trilogy. As you can see here, the hardcover contains all 3 books in the Jedi Academy trilogy. It's written by best-selling author Kevin J. Anderson, and this expanded universe tale takes place 11 years after the Battle of Yavin. Now, before we get into a brief summary, I'd like you to leave your comments down below. Let me know if you've read this book, what your thoughts are on it, or the entire trilogy. I'd like to hear them. Now, let's get into a brief summary. Jedi trainee Kip Duran continues his downward spiral through the dark side. The evil spirit of Exar Kun has twisted Duran against the light, leading down a path of destruction. From paralyzing Luke Skywalker with the Force to destroying a planet with the Sun Crusher, a superweapon constructed by the Empire. Meanwhile, New Republic forces attempt to capture the Imperial facility in the Maw. However, much of the Imperial crew flee the installation and commandeer their new Death Star prototype. Now, the New Republic must face off against a familiar superweapon and a fleet controlled by Admiral Dalla. Will the light prevail over the darkness? Will the New Republic meet its doom in the shadow of a new Death Star? I'm not saying you're going to have to read this book to find out for yourselves. Now, before we get into my overall thoughts, make sure you hit that thumbs up or that thumbs down, whichever you prefer. I liked Book 1, Jedi Search. I liked Book 2, Dark Apprentice. And I've got to say, I liked Book 3, Champions of the Force. I think Kevin J. Anderson did a wonderful job with this story. I liked the writing style. There's a fair balance of describing the state of one's well-being and the action that was taking place. And as with the previous novels, I said, oh, there's so many cool things in here that I would have liked to have seen on the big screen. And same thing goes with this story. There's a lot of cool things, but Kevin J. Anderson does do a fine job detailing out the imagery and painting a wonderful picture for my mind to see. Reading the continued descent of a Jedi apprentice into the darkness was exciting, dramatic, and tragic. Now, in the comic series Dark Empire, which I've mentioned in the previous review, we experienced Luke dabbling in the dark side, and a lot of fans really weren't happy with that. They couldn't buy into it. It was Luke Skywalker. How could he possibly fall to the dark side? And so I thought it was smart of Kevin J. Anderson to bring in a new character and put him through the dark side. You know, let him experience this downfall, his instability. There was a lot of weight in this character, Kip, and I enjoyed it. Luke Skywalker and Exar Kun have a conversation. I feel like there's this missed opportunity where, like, Exar Kun could have mentioned something about the Battle of Yavin 11 years ago. Maybe he says something like, I felt your presence and the presence of another, or something like that, to where it kind of ties into, like, yeah, Exar Kun's there now in this trilogy, but let's, like, kind of tie it into Episode 4 some. Like, yeah, I felt you then, and that's what's, like, awakened me, and now I'm pissed off. Something like that. But what Exar Kun does do is mention the Witches of Dathomir. He says that they would make a fine addition to a new Sith Brotherhood, and I thought that was pretty cool. A nice little callback to Courtship of Princess Leia and other tie-in material. Now, I can't let this review go without saying that this story had its fair share of cheesiness. Some bits can be frustrating with the repetitive lines and themes, but overall, I enjoyed the book. I also liked the little addition of force healing, that was neat, and the unity within the new Jedi Order. So do I recommend that you read Star Wars Champions of the Force? Yes, it's a good book to close out a fun trilogy. For the rating, I will give Star Wars Jedi Academy Champions of the Force an A-. And that does it for this review. Remember to hit that subscribe button so you'll be notified when I post more videos. Check me out across all social media at The Geeks Attic and thegeeksaddict.com. Have a good one.